Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to a response video to the Vulgarian Troglodyte, aka SGS Films, and he recently did a video showing his top 50 favourite films of the moment, and I thought I would just respond to it, not in a negative way, not to sit there and go, oh, why is that in and why is this film not in, but more just to say which films that I have myself, which films that I've seen, and how many of them I would maybe have in my own top 50 or favourite 50, just off the top of my head, and also for an excuse just to get you to go over to his channel. He also has a music channel, and subscribe and comment on his videos. So we might as well just start at 50. Again, our favourite lists can change, like the weather, but it's always fun just to kind of take the temperature of where you're at. I kind of need to renew my own top 100, 150, but when you actually get it down to 50, now you're being serious. So at 50, I have a copy of Marketa Lazarova. Now this is one of those films that everybody seems to love apart from myself. I still think this is a good film. It's obviously in the collection, and I only have good films in the collection. But yeah, not quite as high on this as everybody else. Would it be in my top 50? Probably not. I think I have 36 out of the Vulgarian Troglodytes 50. I think I've seen a couple more as well. But there's a little run here of films that I haven't seen. So at 49 he had India Song. The criterion of that has been on my mind for quite some time. And then he has But I Am a Cheerleader, I Killed My Mother, both films that I haven't seen. But then at 46 he has The Lobster by Yorgos Lanthimos, which certainly would probably be in my top 50. I absolutely adore The Lobster. From the opening frames of a woman getting out of a car and shooting a donkey, I knew this was a film for me, so I would have to say that that would be in my top 50. And then at 45 he has Karida's Like Father Like Son, which is in my backlog. I just haven't dug it out, but it's in my backlog, so I'll be able to say one way or the other hopefully in the future. And then next at 44 he has Bicycle Thieves, which I would say wouldn't be in my favourite 50. I think there's better Italian neorealism films, but it would still certainly be in the conversation for the top 150 or 200. And then we've got Letter from an Unknown Woman with Max Ophuls, which I don't have and I haven't seen. And then number 42, which is in my Wim Wenders set, is Paris, Texas, which is a wonderful film, but it's probably in the maybes for my favourite 50. And then we've got The Big Lebowski, one of the Coen brothers, probably second favourite Coen brothers behind The Miller's Crossing, I think. But I would say this probably wouldn't be in my favourite 50. But again, everybody's favourite 50 is different, obviously. Next is Bergman's Autumn Sonata. Again, I have it in the big Bergman set and the BFI set. I really need to rewatch it, so I can't really say one way or another. There's a whole bunch of Bergman films that I really need to rewatch to have a proper rating. Fellini's Satricon, which I don't have, and I won't be watching for some time. Again, I've seen 5 Fellinis so far, and none of them have really inspired me to see more Fellinis for the time being, because I do have a ton of other stuff to watch. And then next, this has just been announced that it's getting a 4K. This is Mishima by Paul Schrader. Again, wonderful film, probably not in my favourite 50 though. And then number 36, we've got Tarkovsky's Stalker. Again, this is probably a maybe. It's not my favourite Tarkovsky, but it's certainly obviously a masterpiece. But that's probably a maybe for my favourite 40. And then we have The Adventures of Renette and Mirabelle, which I don't have and I haven't seen. A Tale of Winter by Eric Romer. I haven't seen any Eric Romer, because again, very much like Fellini, my mental image of Romer and subject matter in Romer films don't really interest me. Now, whether that's reality or not, that's open to interpretation. Next at number 33 is Hanabi or Hanabi, Fireworks by Kitano. This probably would be in my favourite 50, but it also might not, because I think I prefer Sonatine or Violent Cop. So I'm actually going to say this wouldn't be in my top 50, but it would probably be in my favourite 100, I would say. And then one that would be in my favourite 50, but there would be others by the same filmmakers ahead of it, I think. This is Powell and Pressburger's The Red Shoes, arguably the greatest film about art and the sacrifices one has to make for art. Seminal stuff. This is the 4K and Blu-ray, so this would be in my favourite 50, but there'd be others that would be higher. A film that used to be very high up. I don't think I would actually give it 5 stars anymore. I know that's sacrilege. But at number 31, it's The Shining by Kubrick. Maybe it's just one of those films, certainly with Kubrick, I've seen a number of his films so often and so many times. It's still brilliant and excellent and wonderful, but it wouldn't be in my favourite 50 anymore. And then we have Possession. Again, I'm not as high on Possession as other people are. Again, it's a good film, I do need to rewatch it, but it certainly wouldn't be at number 30 in my favourite 50. And then this is a maybe. This is Kalatazov's Letter Never Sent, which is just one of the most amazing visual looking films you'll ever see. We also did Cranes Are Flying, which might be in my favourite 50. I Am Cuba, which might be in my favourite 50. So this is a maybe. Yeah, this is phenomenal from 1959. Just jaw-dropping black and white cinematography out in the wilds. Just incredible film. And then next, a film that is amazing. If I was doing a greatest films of all time, this might be in the top 50, but as a favourite films 50, no, this is Naked. This is one of those absolutely brutal films, which is wonderful. It's kind of the complete opposite to Mike Leigh, because he's a lovely man. Yeah, David Thewlis is just amazing in this film. Again, if it was the greatest 50 films of all time, perhaps this would be in it, but certainly my favourite 50, this wouldn't be in the list. But certainly it might be in my favourite 250. And then, why does this not have a Blu-ray yet? We can probably tell. Ken Russell's The Devils. This is another amazing piece of work. This might be, again, if I did a greatest films of all time list, this might be in the top 50, but favourites, probably not, but it would probably be in the favourite 150. Oliver Reed's absolutely brilliant. This BFI DVD is absolutely stuffed with special features, including some deleted scenes involving a bone. And then we have Secrets and Lies by Mike Leigh, which I've never seen. Le Notte Bianche from Visconti, which I haven't seen. I do need to catch up with more Visconti. Le Pont du Nord, I haven't seen either. The Nun, which I have seen by Jacques Rivette. Again, I'm not as high on Rivette as other people, even though I haven't really seen that many. And I did actually sell The Nun. Apologies. And then at 22 we have Ozu's Autumn Afternoon, which is in my backlog. I have yet to watch it. I am up to about 20% on Ozu, but I haven't checked out Autumn Afternoon. And then right after Autumn Afternoon, at number 21, is Tokyo Story. A seminal piece of work, but for me it wouldn't be in my favourite 50. Again, greatest 50 perhaps, not in my favourite 50, but certainly 150 material. And then we have A Silent Voice, the animation, which I haven't seen, I don't have. Bergman's Persona, again I have in box set, so I'm not going to pull it out, so to speak. Yeah, it's not one of my favourite Bergmans. Again, if this was a greatest 50, it would probably be in it. It would probably be in my top 200, I would say. Favourite 200. And then number 18, Berlin Anderplatz by Fassbinder. This is in my backlog, and this is the lovely Second Sight big box. So this is in my backlog, much like a lot of Fassbinder. I've still to watch it. And number 17, Funeral Parade of Roses, which is an absolutely wonderful film. Probably not in my favourite 50, but favourite 150, I would say so. Yeah, if you haven't seen this, this is wonderful. City of Pirates by Raul Ruiz, I believe. I haven't seen that. I think it's just available on YouTube. But I did pick up a few Ruiz films which are in the backlog. It's a broken record, but it's the truth. And then at number 15, you know, on his video, the Vulgarian Troglodyte did question whether this, you know, is one of the greatest films of all time. And I did comment, why do you even question this? Because it is, it's Kamikaze Girls. Of course it's one of the greatest films of all time. This is at 15 on his list. This would be in my favourite 50. I'm not sure how high it would be, but it would be in my favourite 50. It's just absolutely brilliant. About two girls with two somewhat different outlooks in life. And it is just, it's colourful, it's funny, it's moving, it's basically perfect. It's Kamikaze Girls. I mean, look at that image. You just want to adopt them. At number 14, very much like Marketa Lazarova, I'm not as big a fan of this as other people. Obviously I still need to rewatch it a couple of times. This is Valerie and Her Week of Wonders. Again, really good, wonderful imagery, but I just don't seem to connect to it the way other people do. But again, that's probably a me problem rather than an other people problem. At number 13, Sword of Doom by Okamoto, one of Tatsuya Nakadai's finest performances. I really need to rewatch this. So this probably wouldn't be in my favourite 50. It would certainly be in my favourite 100, but again, if I rewatched it, it might go into my favourite 50. Sensational film. At number 12 is Pastoral, To Die in the Country, which I haven't seen, but I need to get my hands on. And then at number 11 is Sancho Dio, which would definitely be in my favourite 50. Just a stunner of a film from Mizoguchi again. I don't have a ton of Mizoguchi, I really need to catch up. I just got the greatest hits, if you like. And this is certainly one of those greatest hits. because this is just a stunner, and one of the most upbeat films of all time. Next, at number 10 is Paths of Glory, which controversially probably wouldn't be in my favourite 50. My favourite 100 probably. I have grown to love Francesco Rossi's film on World War One a little bit more than Kubrick's Paths of Glory. Many wars ago with Volante, but obviously Paths of Glory is wonderful. At number 9 is definitely a yes. It's Blue Velvet, of course. I wish I could remember the first time I saw this and re-bottle that feeling. Yeah, this is just an absolute masterpiece. When you think of what might have happened if Dune was a huge success, would Blue Velvet ever have happened? This was Lynch's back to basics film, and we're all thankful for that. At number 8 is Kim Kuduk's 3 Iron, which I do have on a Blu-ray box set of Kim Kuduk. I just haven't whipped out the disc. Again, not my favourite Kim Kuduk, but again, this is Vulgarian Troglodyte's list, which again I'll link in the video, and his channel. Still a very good Kim Kuduk, but perhaps not my favourite, so it probably wouldn't be in my favourite 50, but I can see why it's in the Trog favourite 50. And then next, again in the conversation for the greatest film of all time, Kobayashi's Human Condition. If you want to be pedantic, you could say 3 films, but I just count it as one massive 9.5 hour epic masterpiece. Would it be in my favourite films list? Yes. Would it be at number 7? Perhaps not, just because I've only watched it like 1.5 times. But certainly if this was the greatest films, this could easily be number 1. It's got everything you need to know about life, death, the universe and everything. And then a couple of backlog picks. Yoshida's Heroic Purgatory, I'm still to watch, but I do have it in the backlog. And much like Berlin Anderplatz, Fox and His Friends by Fassbinder, still got it in the backlog. I'll go crazy one weekend and watch like 10 Fassbinders, but it hasn't happened yet. Again, I'm on about 7% of Fassbinder. And then next, another film that I really need to rewatch. It's another Kobayashi, it's Harakiri. Again, this would be in my favourite 50 as well. Probably wouldn't be 4 at the moment, but again, I really need to rewatch it. But again, I kind of feel guilty rewatching films when I've got such a big backlog, but that's a me problem. At number 3, another Lynch film, Mulholland Drive. Again, for me, it wouldn't be as high. It would still be in the favourite 50, but not quite as high as 3. But just another beautiful Lynch film. And then, my goodness, there's another Lynch film at number 2. It's Fire Walk with Me, a film that I actually saw in a cinema. Can you believe? This would be in my favourite 50. It would be pretty high up. It probably wouldn't be number 2, but it'd be pretty high up. Yeah, what an experience. And if Blue Velvet saved his career, Fire Walk with Me almost ended his career. Go figure. And then number 1 in Vulgarian Troglodyte's favourite 50 films at the moment, Umbrellas of Cherbourg by Jacques Demy. I did a Jacques Demy box set by Criterion kind of review. The Umbrellas of Cherbourg is not for me. Again, still a good film, I'm not saying it's a bad film, but it just doesn't vibe with me. Of course it's colourful, of course it's got Catherine Deneuve, but I just didn't connect with it at all. The fact that all the dialogue's sung doesn't vibe with me, and that's absolutely fine. You can't love every single film, you can't love every single classic film that you're supposed to love. Vulgarian Trog'S loves it, and that's all that matters. So that's number 1, Umbrellas of Cherbourg, which again is getting a 4K from Criterion, which I won't be buying. So that's my just little kind of reaction to the Vulgarian Troglodytes favourite 50 as of June 2025. So I think there's 36 films that I have in the collection, and some of them would be in my favourite 52. Some of them wouldn't be, but not that far off. And some of them obviously wouldn't be, because that's the beauty of cinema. We all react to different things, we all resonate with different things, we all wet ourselves to different things. So thanks so much for watching. Again, this is more a public service announcement to go to the Vulgarian Troglodytes channel, go to his music channel and subscribe and have a chat with him. Just don't tell him your favourite director is Christopher Nolan, and you should be okay. So thanks very much for watching. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell